Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm going to be your nurse today. Can you please tell me your name and your date of birth? Charlene Knight, 8839. Okay, great. And let me just move over this armband just to see your allergies. Betadine, PCN, and latex? Okay, we'll make sure not to use any of those today. I just wanted to stop by to see how you were doing. I saw on your chart that you haven't been able to urinate in about 10 hours. You feel like you have to pee but nothing will come out? Okay, well let me just put on some gloves. And just assess you. I'm just going to put your arm down. I'm going to roll this down. I know it's a little chilly in here, but I'll go as quickly as I can so you're not uncomfortable for too long. Okay. Your bladder is a little distended. We do have an order from your provider for a Foley catheter. You've had that done before? Okay. And you know it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's going to provide immediate relief? Okay. Well, before we get started, I just want to make sure that your perineal area is clean. It is clean, it's dry. If it wasn't, we'd want to make sure we did that before we started the procedure, since it is sterile. I'm just going to get you situated for the procedure, and I'm going to get everything put together, and I'll be right back. Okay, the first thing we would want to look for is the packaging. We want to make sure that it is not expired. This one doesn't expire until April of 2017. We'd also want to take a look and make sure it doesn't contain any of her allergens. For the purpose of this video, we're going to pretend it does not contain latex. And we'd also want to make sure that the package is intact, there's no tears, there's no compromises, no liquid. And again, for the purpose of this video, we're going to pretend that this is a brand new package. The area that we're working on, we want to make sure that it's at waist level, that it's clean and dry, which this is. I'm going to be using both surfaces, and they're both in good condition. I'm going to take this out and just throw this away. Okay. So I'm going to start off by opening the flap away from me. And then I'm going to go side, making sure that it doesn't come up. Side, just holding this again. There we go. And then towards me. Okay, so this is going to be my sterile surface. I'm going to start off by taking the drape, just making sure to touch only the shiny side, and opening it up. Okay, and not turning my back on my sterile field, I'm going to drape this down on that area. Now I'm going to take my sterile gloves, and again I'm going to use the surface over there. When I open my sterile gloves, I'm going to want to make sure that I don't touch the inside as to compromise the integrity of the sterile gloves. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to start off by doning my dominant hand. I'm going to reach for the outside of the glove, pick it up, step back. First glove is on. I'm going to don the second glove. I'm going to use this to stabilize it. I'm only going to touch sterile to sterile. I'm watching out for my thumb. I'm going to insert the glove. Okay, my gloves are now sterile. Now I'm going to get everything set up for the catheter insertion. I'm just going to rearrange my sterile field. I'm going to start off by opening up the hydrogen peroxide and putting that onto my sterile cotton balls. This area over here is no longer going to be sterile, so I'm just going to drop when I'm done with that. I'm going to take the catheter, and I'm going to remove the packaging. And I'm going to take the lubricant, and I'm going to generously apply it to the tip of the catheter. Okay, and I'm done with that. I'm going to take my syringe, and I'm going to take the top off, and I'm going to attach it everything back in the box. Okay, now I'm going to move everything over. This area no longer is going to be sterile. I'm going to be moving it over here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my non-dominant hand to locate the meatus. Once I put my hand in that position, I'm not going to be able to move it because it's no longer going to be sterile. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it like this, and I'm going to start to clean. Okay, Mrs. Knight, I'm going to start the procedure by just cleaning the area. I'm going to start off by going furthest away, making sure not to cross my sterile field. Closest to me. Middle. And I'm going to just repeat that same sequence. In the middle. Okay, I am done with that. Just going to drop that, and I'm also going to move this over here. Okay, Miss Knight, I'm going to get ready to insert the catheter. If you could just take a deep breath and bear down. I'm going to take the catheter, and I'm going to make sure not to touch anything that is not sterile.
All right. Let me make sure I get it. All right, go for it.
Okay. And I'm meeting a little bit of resistance, just because this is a used kit. Okay, I see urine, so I'm going to go in 1 more inch. Again, I'm meeting a little bit of resistance, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and inflate the catheter with 10 milliliters of sterile water. Just slowly. I can also, if I wanted to, just hold on to this to secure it. That's not necessary, but it does sometimes help. Okay, the saline water is in. Just going to tug on it to make sure that it is in there. Okay, I'm going to remove this. The sterile portion of the procedure is done. What I would do now is I would just attach this to her leg with some tape, giving a little slack for any movement. I would also attach this to the bed rail, making sure not to touch the ground. Mrs. Knight, how do you feel? You feel much better? Oh, that's great. I'm so glad to hear that. I do see about 300 milliliters of urine. It's amber, but there's no cloudiness, so that's good. I would make sure that I document at this time, exactly what happened during the procedure, that I would also monitor intake and output for the client, and that I would provide peri-care and cath care every shift or as indicated by my agency policy.